Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For this video, we'll be doing it's more like a tribute video. I'm going to for this particular one. And of course, I'm doing this video on Friday, September 4th, 2015. And tomorrow, which is September 5th, Saturday, September 5th, and Sunday, September 6th, 2015, will happen to be the 20th anniversary of Cal Ripken Jr. tying and breaking Lou Gehrig's consecutive games playing record. And so I'm going to do a video review of 2131 Cal Ripken Cal's moment in time. Of course, there's also backwards. Of course, these are the numbers that appear on the B&O warehouse. There's some right field and center field in Camden Yards, and they posted the numbers every day as Cal Ripken got closer to tying and eventually breaking Lou Gehrig's consecutive games playing streak. And then there's a video that the Baltimore Orioles put out of the two historic games. As a matter of fact, originally there was a big controversy. Even before the 1995 season started, there was a big controversy over this. Um, not so much of Ripken breaking the records, tying and breaking it. It's because of the fact that it was on the verge. It was just after the infamous 1994 and into 1995 player strike, and in March of 1995, Major League Baseball decided to hire replacement players, or should I say scabs, to break the players' unit. The only team, or Major League team, that did not hire scabs were the Orioles, because the owner wanted, because he knew that this was the closest. Eventually, during the 1995 season, Cal Ripken would tie and break Lou Gehrig's consecutive games record, and the owner of the Orioles, Peter Angelos, wanted to preserve the record and wanted Cal to break it. And if he gets replacement players, the streak would be broken because he's not playing in it because he's a union guy. So the Orioles decided not to field a team full of scabs so that Ripken's record would remain intact. So there was a bit controversial with that. And of course, people were complaining about it and saying, "Oh, the team is being selfish over it, or they're doing it for Ripken, and Ripken is being selfish and all this crap." I mean, people outside of Baltimore complaining about it. But eventually, of course, it didn't come to pass because they sell the strike, and all the hype was for these two. Pretty much for the whole season was the hype for these two games. Now, originally, the two games were supposed to be playing out in California, because the opponents happened to be the California Angels for the two games, and it was supposed to be played in Anaheim. Originally, the schedule originally came out. It came out as the two games in Anaheim, but they decided, look, we want Cal Ripken to tie and break the record at home. So what they did was they flipped the schedule so the two games would be played in Camden Yards in Baltimore. This video, the 2131 video, it is a long video. It is an hour and a half long. I didn't even know it was an hour and a half long, so we got the video. And it has pretty much highlights. And it was divided pretty much in half of the highlights of the two games. Which is great because you do get to see the. Excuse me for a second. Yeah, you do have highlights of the game where he tied the record. And of course, you have the record where he broke, virtually broke the record. And you do have clips of the ceremony they had after the game was over, of the two games were over. All the gifts and everything that they gave to Ripken, because he tied and broke what I feel is the greatest record in baseball. And of course, it was a great tribute to Cal for the two games. And of course, they did have footage that actually, of course, we didn't see on television. Like when Ripken coming into Camden Yards and going to the clubhouse and some of the clubhouse stuff. Um, Especially the funny part was Bobby Bonilla, who was recently traded from the that season, halfway through the '95 season, from the Mets to the Orioles, and so he's there with his video camera, videotaping Cal getting into his uniform, uh, which which they don't go for, but they put it into the video because it was kind of funny. And then of course you have the video with Bill Clinton coming to the clubhouse because Bill Clinton was president there with his daughter Chelsea. Um, Came to Camden Yards for that game. So they even a bigger event with Bill Clinton being there. Fortunately, during the closing speech, I don't know if Clinton left already by then. I guess he did. Otherwise, he would have been there for the for the ceremony after the game and to give a speech or something. But that didn't happen because I guess he stayed there for like half the game, a little more than half the game, and the Secret Service must have gotten him out of there. So I have another rendezvous with Monica Lewinsky. Anyway, uh, they they have stuff with Bill Clinton. They have, of course, more game highlights from the game where Ripken broke the record. And of course, they had the whole thing where it was edited down because it was over like a 25-minute delay during the game. Because for those of you who don't know baseball, the rule is if a game goes 4.5 innings with the home team ahead, it's an official game. And the Orioles were winning at the end of 4.5 innings. That means 4 complete innings at the top of the fifth are over with the Orioles being ahead. That means it's an official game, and Cal Ripken officially broke the consecutive games playing record because the statistics would count. And of course, when the game became official, they had a almost about 25-minute delay because the fans were cheering and applauding. And the game was Ripken and staying. Everybody was on their feet applauding. Giving a second rating to Ripken as he rightly deserved because he rightfully broke the record. And the warehouse, the Beano Warehouse, which is like a kind of like a national landmark in Baltimore, uh, had big giant numbers on the wall, and I was counting how many games Ripken has played in a row. And when it went from 21-30, which was the old record, to 2-1-3-1, that's when the whole crowd, completely erupted. And of course, Ripken came out a few times with a standing ovation, tipped his cap, and the whole thing. And so some of the players were saying, look, particularly Rafael Palmeiro, Mr. Steroids, Rafael Palmeiro, and his teammate Bobby Bonilla said, look, says Ripken, look, we're not going to get this game started until you run around the stadium. And they thought he was, kidding around, joking. And he says, no, we feel you have to do it because otherwise this game is never going to get started. And Ripken, to his credit, wanted the game to go on. And that's why they never stopped the game for the ceremonies or anything else. They did it after the game. Just to respect Ripken's request. They said, let's do it after, let's do this after the game, not during the game, because I just want the game to go on and play the game straight through. And then whatever ceremony you want to give me, if you want to honor me, great, do it after the game. And so that's what they did. But the fans were applauding and cheering so that they wouldn't stop until Ripken ran around the stage. And it was in a pop two moment. And Ripken ran around the stage, and while he was like about 3/4 of the way around Camden Yards, he even stopped by the Angels dugout, and the whole Angels team was congratulating him. Playing, I think it was Jose Gonzalez was a former teammate of Cal's. I think he played on the Orioles like the year before or 2 years before, and so he congratulated him. And Rock Carew, who was then the hitting coach of the Angels, then congratulated him and the whole team, plus the umpires, just about everybody. And while he was doing that, they were playing the Whitney Houston song "One Moment in Time," which was actually written and performed for the 1988 Olympic Games. So this song was a 7-year-old song, and that song got revitalized because they played the song during when Ripken was running around the track, the morning track in Camden Yards, and he only started playing it like about 3/4 of the way around. When Cal was about 3/4 of the way around the stadium, that's when they started playing the Whitney Houston song "One Moment in Time." And of course, Ripken got moved. They had to play that song because he played his heart out for every. That's the line in the song that he played his heart out for every game, and he did. I like to see Derek G. Derek G. doesn't even have the class that Cal Ripken has. And I feel that Cal Ripken was the greatest shortstop who ever played the game in the last 50 years. Uh, not only was he the greatest shortstop, but he also had class, and he played all those games as well. Uh, Jeter, everybody said that Jeter was the greatest shortstop ever. Jeter only played all 162 games like once in his career. Second most maybe like 160. He never constantly played 162 games every single year. For the last couple of years he was injured. But he didn't play 162 games every single year for, let's say, 10 years or 11 years. He didn't do that because Jeter is a selfish son of a bitch ball player. Let me tell you how selfish Jeter was. When the Yankees signed Alex Rodriguez, who was a better shortstop than Jeter was, Jeter would not move over to third base for Rodriguez. Ripken, however, said because he knew that his skills were waning, especially after when Ripken broke uh, Gevin's record, he knew that his skills were winding down because it was getting to be almost 40 years old. He was going to be like 37, 38 years old. He moved over to third base. And he ended his streak as a third baseman. As a matter of fact, when he retired, he was a third baseman for the Orioles. But I think for the last game, Ripken decided to play. I think he might have played shortstop for his last ever major league game at home, for the home fans. But Jeter never did something like that. Moved over to third when his skills were winding. When Jeter's skills was winding down, Ripken did. And that's why Ripken is, to me, on a higher plateau than Jeter is, because Ripken had something that Jeter didn't have, and that was class. And also Cal Ripken Jr. is not homosexual like Derek Jeter is. But that's another thing altogether. But I've always been a fan of Cal Ripken Jr. because he played every day. Most players, especially nowadays, don't play every single day. They always take a day off, or play both games over. Let's say on the rare times they have a doubleheader, you don't play both games. You don't play in, let's say, 100-degree heat. In Baltimore, if you've never been in Baltimore during the summer, it's extremely hot and extremely humid. So, and I've been to Camden Yards twice. You see, Cal Ripken. Well, one game he played, another game he was hurt, so he didn't even play in the second game when I saw it down there. But it was like 98 degrees both days. I think one time it was like 102 for the high. And by the time the game started, it was like 98 degrees both times. And I was amazed that Ripken was able to play every single day in that heat. At least playing at least half or more than half of the games during his streak, because they played like at least 81 games a year at home during his streak. And 81 games a year, every single year during his streak. And to play in that heat every single night makes me admire the guy even more. And, as a ball player and as a person. Because how many times we're playing, we say, "Oh, it's too hot. I want give me the day off. If it's too hot for too long, give me a day off." Most players would do that. You can then. And only over the years that there was a local radio show here in New York at that time, called Mike and the Mad Dog. The Mad Dog's name was Chris Russo, who does stuff on Sirius XM and for the major MLB network. He was saying for years how selfish Cal Ripken Jr. was, because he wouldn't let the streak end. He the streak shouldn't have been near that close, and all that crap. Well, the streak was that long because he was dedicated enough, even though most of the years the Ripken played, the Orioles stunk, especially towards the end of his career. Most of the time, the Orioles stunk, particularly during the 90s, particularly the early 90s when the Orioles stunk, and also in the late 80s, going into 1992 they had a decent team, the Orioles, but they lost to the Blue Jays that year for the division. But most of the time, most of the teams that Ripken played for lost. They're like losing teams. They stunk half the time. And here's Ripken playing day after day after day, despite the fact that most of the teams he played on stunk. And he won Rookie of the Year in '82. He won the MVP and the World Series in 1983. He won the MVP again the second time in 1991. And he also won the All-Star Game MVP twice. And of course, the other thing with Cal Ripken's career was when he was retiring in 2001. He started the All-Star Game, which was playing in Seattle. First at bat, he first pitch from Chan Ho Park, was pitching for the Dodgers then. Threw him a fastball and he hit it out for a home run. A lot of people thought that Chan Ho Park purposely glued the pitch to Ripken because it was his last game. Well, a couple years ago, or 2 years, or last year, when Derek Jeter was playing his last All-Star game, nobody threw him a pass one. Groove the fastball to him so he can hit one out in his last All-Star game. That didn't happen either. That didn't happen, and this didn't happen either. Ripken was legit in hitting a home run. There was also a bunch of bullshit because of all the Cal Ripken haters out there. But Cal Ripken deserved all the praise he got. It was class all the way. So that's kind of my tribute to Cal Ripken Jr. into this video. Cal's one moment in time. I don't even know honestly if the Orioles are still selling this video or if they made it into a DVD. I have no idea. You have to go to the Baltimore Orioles website and check it out. If they do, I suggest you check this out. And I think the game itself, I think the game was on YouTube. I don't know if both games are, but I think the 21-31 game, I believe that game was on YouTube, plus the whole ceremony and everything. I don't know if it's the Orioles broadcast or the ESPN broadcast. A friend of mine taped the game for me, but I didn't have cable, so I couldn't see this game. But I have the game on tape, and I watch the game every once in a while, but it's a long game. Well, it is an extremely long game. Especially when the game was interrupted in the fifth inning with the tribute to Ripken when ran around the scene. But I suggest if you want to see a great ball game, this is it. And also, Cal came through in both games. He hit a home run in both games, actually. One other note, there was one time when Bill Clinton was in the radio booth and Ripken hit a double in the 21-31 game, and because Bill Clinton said, "Go baby," in that game. But Don Imus in the morning, who I listen to him all the time, he watched that game and he says, "I remember remarking at the time, I bet you that's not the first time Bill Clinton said that." And of course, he made the Correspondence Dinner speech the next year, 1996, and of course, there was at a time when he was having oral sex with Monica Lewinsky in the Oval Office. So he made that comment. Who knew at the time that Don Imus made that comment that the Bill Clinton's Monica Lewinsky scandal was going to hit the fan? But I'm getting on a tangent, so please doesn't my review of the video 21-31, Cal's moment in time. Please click on the video, please read it. Feel free to comment on it. Please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. And also you can check out all my videos not only on my YouTube channel, but also at rallyc.com. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. And Cal Ripken rules.